Swedish Chamber of Commerce for the UK, the ultimate platform for entrepreneurs and businesses within the Swedish-British business community. Welcoming you to the 5th largest economy and the world's financial center. Founded in 1906, we are constantly looking forward. A not-for-profit organization founded by business for business. Representing some 400 businesses, together employing over 100,000 in the UK, making us the largest Swedish chamber in the world and one of the largest foreign chambers in the UK. We are the voice of Swedish business community, celebrating the great impact they have on their communities. From innovation to sustainability, people and culture. We engage with political stakeholders and other influencers to promote Business Brand Sweden. We deliver some 80+ annual events and programs, providing a platform for discussion, business collabs, learning and partnerships. Supporting members with insightful programs, mentorships and training. And we help the next generation get a head start through our young professional programs. We support startups and entrepreneurs on their successful UK expansion. It is a strong network offering and a great community to be part of. We provide first-class business services, market intelligence, matchmaking, capital raising programs and trade missions, all by maximizing the collective knowledge and strength of our members. We are the voice for our business community at a time when the bilateral relationship has never been more important, protecting and building on our strong relationships. What do our members think? We have an engaged and happy membership. In fact, 86% of members rate the overall value of the membership as either high or very high. And 95% find the events offering good or very good. Are you interested in becoming part of the largest Swedish-British business network? Join our growing community of exciting startups, SMEs, unicorns and established large global corporates. Start sharing, creating and growing. Become a member now.
Good morning, everyone. That's quite an intro. Become a member now. I think that's a good start to today's proceedings. Welcome to Impact 2021. My name is Peter Sandberg, and I'm the Chief Executive of the Swedish Chamber of Commerce. I have the distinct pleasure, I should say, of being your Master of Ceremonies today. You're going to have to bear with me as I was landed this job yesterday, but I promise to do my best job. I'm relying on the main task basically being a bit of British order, and Swedish timekeeping, and then we should be fine, hopefully. Today will be a conversation on what we say is the greatest challenge of our time, and how businesses and communities are tackling sustainability and climate change. It's probably no news to anyone in this room that the UK will be hosting COP26 later on this year. This is sort of our preamble to it. We said get out of the noise in November, let's do something before and sort of kickstart a conversation with the Swedish-British business community. I've lived in the UK now for more or less 17 years, and I think if there ever was a time for the UK to host the COP26, I think it's now. I'm quite curious about the UK ambitions and the sustainability field, and I really look forward to what's going to happen in November. And hopefully world leaders will sort of set a path forward. The UK and Sweden are both at the forefront, I think, of sustainability solutions, and it's really important to focus on learning from one another, and that's what we're trying to do. That's always what we try to do at the Swedish Chamber of Commerce, create a platform where we sit down together and take the best from what the Swedish and British business communities can pull together. I joined the Swedish Chamber the second time 3.5 years ago now, and I did so the second time because I still believe that Sweden and the UK has a lot to learn from each other. We're two very different economies. I mean, the UK population is what, 6-7 times that of Sweden. Sweden is basically the size of London, but I think we share a lot of traits as well, being two of the world's most innovative and competitive economies, basically tech unicorn factories, if you wish, but we've also come really far when it comes to sustainability. I'd like to put my hand on my heart and say I think Sweden did a really good job over the last 4 decades or so in focusing on what we used to call environmental issues, but I think the UK is really in an interesting place right now. And I think for anyone who is interested in sustainability and climate change, what's happened in the last 18 months have sort of given fuel to the whole question around what society can do if it actually really wants to do something. It can actually pose a lot of quick change. Today's program, and I apologize in advance, will cover a range of topics relating to impact, and the reason was we didn't want to cut anything out. So we're going to have to look at this as sort of the launch, the big discussion on a lot of impact-related conversations, which we're just going to have to follow up on over the next couple of years in more intimate and more tailored and targeted sessions. We're going to discuss electrification, energy, fossil-free steel, and urban challenges, and we're going to have to use those coffee breaks and lunches to dive deeper into the conversations, otherwise we'll get strapped. No one would have missed that we're using a digital program today, so to reduce our own footprint, we've given that a lot of thought. So if you want to download that, you have it actually at the back of your badges. Mine was taken away from me, but you have a QR code there. It's also in the email and around the room. Have a look at that because there will be very brief intros to our speakers today, so if you want to read up on them as well. And lastly, we've designed this to be quite an intimate group of people, and there's a reason for that. We want it to be interactive. We want you to ask questions. We want you to interrupt. I've got an amazing team here with lots of microphones, and as soon as you raise your hand, they'll walk over and hand you a microphone, and all the moderators today will make sure to bring you in, so please ask questions. We want it to be interactive. Now, before we start, there's a few formal thanks to our sponsors. Thank you to SEB, Skanska, SSAB, Vattenfall, Wastefront, and White & Case. And thanks also to our long-term partners at the UK Department for International Trade. We do a lot with the UK Department for International Trade, both in Sweden and in the UK. And with that, I think it's time for us to start the program. We do so with a conversation on green consumerism. Veronica Råberg-Schrello from Kekst CNC, welcome up. Kekst CNC, many of you would have heard of them. It's a communications advisor.
Yes, exactly.
And you in particular with a sustainability angle.
That's true.
Veronica, you're going to lead the first panel. What is so important about today?
Oh, well, I mean, the tagline for the event, and I actually wrote this down because it is quite great. The great challenges of our lifetime and how we can solve it together. I mean, that says it all, right? We are now, as everyone in this room will well know, less than 10 years to 2030. A lot of pledges have been made by the European Union to cut emissions by at least 55% until 2030. And by the US, thankfully I might say, with President Biden, 50 to 52% until 2030. That is quite a big pledge. And you know, if anyone in this room feels like, yeah, I know what the roadmap looks like, great. I don't feel the same. But I think what we can all agree on is that it will definitely require collaboration between industry, between well, essentially all the actors in this room, and of course, civic society. So, yeah.
So what will you be, so talking about COP26, what will you be looking out for? Looking at sort of everything that's happening this fall, actually there's another COP meeting, I'm sure you know that as well, on biodiversity. Actually only half of that meeting will take place in Kunming in China, but I will be looking very closely at, on behalf of my clients and for myself, what investors and the financial sector are doing. I think that starting a few years back, we can really sort of see that investors, with a few investor sort of groups, have really been driving the agenda on this. So I will be looking at what investors are saying during COP26, after COP26.
that'll be interesting.
Your panel, I did some quick maths here. I spoke to Peter. I said your panel represents some 22,000 UK jobs. I just want to point that out for Brits in the audience. What are you going to talk about on your panel?
Well, so the subject is, let me get my cue card. Does the rise of green consumerism mean the fall of traditional consumption behavior? And it's, of course, a treat to have the companies we have on the panel to discuss that. Yeah, should we welcome them up?
Take it away. Welcome up.
Excellent. Maybe a round of applause. Yay. Get us started.